And welcome to another edition of Woodsy's Footy Club Tour. And I've got the man known as the GOAT. Hence the reason why I'm wearing a Michael Jordan singlet today. Jeremy Lattimore, how are you, buddy?
Mate, I noticed that. And the Yard Gym
Yeah,
hat as well.
a
There you go.
little bit of merch.
Mate, bit of sponsor promo.
Are they your rival, the Yard Gym? Or
No, we don't have gyms yet, Louie and I. We're fitness mates, mate. We're a lover of all gyms, all personal trainers, everything fitness.
Well, talk to us about, because I've seen on social media, and Groover, the man with more hands in pies than anyone else, what's doing? I just see, one thing I did laugh about was the teleprompter.
Yep.
You're more of a man that needs a script in front of you.
Yeah.
Louis is off the cuff.
Yeah, well, he's off the cuff, but he did it wrong. And then he's obviously, I'm sitting there waiting for my prompt, and he finished it real quick. So, look, it's called Fitness Mate. So, what it pretty well is, it's a platform where any gym, any physiotherapist, any personal trainer who's not aligned with the gym, rugby league players who want to make some extra money.
Yep.
Aaron Woods and Jeremy Lattimore run a front row club.
Oh, really?
Yeah, stuff like that. So it's literally like a realestate.com for fitness.
So on like a school holiday, you go, lads, you mean you're going to do a clinic for these kids and you sign up on there?
Sign up on there, yeah. My mate who's got Nines comp, Ant Mitchell, the 9PL up in
former
Goldie.
Eagles player,
Yeah, we're going to run like all the ticketing through it. So it's got that add-on as well. And then in time, it'll become a marketplace as well.
So what made you think of the concept like that? What any ideas?
Yeah, a couple of reasons. One of them was one of our mates. I don't know, you might know Sammy Shamoon.
E-Group.
Yeah. So him, me, and Louis were the three boys that sort of come up with the idea.
Yep.
He lives down on the water, has a couple of kayaks, and there's always sort of a couple spare. We're like, imagine like offering it, like putting it up, and someone can come along with us. So that was one thing.
Yep.
So connecting people.
Yep.
Because not everyone has great friendship groups or people with like-minded interests. So if you're someone who likes kayaking, there's your problem solved. Yeah. So and that may be a free listing just to come out, connect, go over to Bundina, have a coffee, come back. And then the other one was we're trying to find somewhere to do some boxing.
Okay.
We ended up finding one of our mates who could train us, but it took us like 2 or 3 months to find someone who we could get to just take us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's a boxing trainer now in the Shire, and they want to pick up a bit extra cash. You can literally just list it. So pretty well as a lister. So they're called a member.
Yep.
You pay like an ongoing $8 membership fee.
That's nothing.
Nothing every month, and then if you sign up for a $20 class, we take like a small percentage of that on transaction.
Well, that's good, but it gets people out there, and it's also that's half the point. Is half the problem is finding someone that will do it.
And that's it. And obviously, the big thing is run clubs these days. Hey, all them single people are meeting on the run clubs. So actually, and there's dating app features.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For the single people out there, and there's no stigma like a dating app.
I do know that you do a podcast with one of my great mates, Toby Rudolph.
Correct.
Has he put his name in the ring for this dating app?
We might find Toby. We might start a Toby Rudolph run club.
Geez. And that's anyone.
Boys, girls.
Females,
Yeah, no, mate.
males.
We want people to just get in. Literally, it's about connecting people, fitness and health, and that's where the world's going, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, mobile phones, we're more and more less connected.
Yes.
And at the same time, though, the fitness industry is growing year on year.
Yep.
So it's a good space for us to be in. Both Louis and I are passionate about fitness and love our training. He's got a different physique to me. We're talking about this on the way in. He's built with muscle, whereas I enjoy a bit of endurance training. And
it's so funny because you speak of Louis, and when I played with him, he was just one bloke that never did weights, hardly trained.
Yeah.
I remember talking to him once. In the mornings, he'd get a hot water bottle or like a big bucket.
Yeah.
Heat it up,
Yeah.
and he'd have to put his legs in there to warm up for like a morning session. I'm like, once I get to that stage in my career, I think I'm done.
Yeah, well, I ended up with him in 2017, so that was his second last season. And you would have come across Andrew Gray with your
Drew, champion,
very very smart dude. He's helping out the Dragons this
best.
year, and I think he's had effect on obviously their fitness. But he really looked after them older boys. So,
did he what?
Yeah, mate. You had Paul Gallen and Louis, mate. I don't think you ever saw him on the field in preseason, but they still were at their best.
They did, they delivered.
Yes, correct.
You knew what you were going to get.
Yeah.
You spoke about Anthony Mitchell.
Yep.
With the Nines. I was lucky. You played at the start of this year. How many seasons have you had that running in that competition?
This will be our third year. I've played in the two inaugural, and then year two,
and
I was in the winning team.
You're a two-timer, aren't you?
Yeah.
Two-time champion. I remember watching it online.
Well, mate, it's on KO this year.
Yeah.
So
beautiful.
Shout out to Nines Premier League. Mate, Hey, you know what we're looking for? Southern Sharks, freshly retired front rowers.
No.
No, not interested.
You need a commentator?
Huh? Hey, maybe.
Commentator?
Yeah, definitely.
I could help commentate.
Straight A weekend on the Gold Coast. Are you in?
Oh, mate. Do I need to sign up somewhere?
Hey, no, mate. Hey, I'll have a chat to Ian offline, mate.
I've actually heard about the celebrations last year. I heard they weren't too bad.
Yeah, no, they were good fun.
How'd you get that concept up and running? Because I've seen social media. It's tracked quite a few of a popularity background. It was good to watch. I loved watching it.
Yeah, mate, it was awesome. Ant and a few of his partners, because he works with Clontarf, and I was sort of talking about something in the off season because there's nothing really, from sort of November through to mid-February. So it's like maybe good if we could bring in a nines comp. Exciting. And that first year, I think we had like 10 to 15 ex-NRL boys.
Where was that at the first year?
On the Goldie.
On the Goldie as well,
up at, which stadium was that? The one behind where Seabus is. I can't remember what that one's called.
I don't know.
And then, last year was at Tugan. But last year, we would have had 70 ex-NRL players there.
Mate, it was unreal.
Huge.
And then how many teams do you reckon you would have had last year?
16, and we're going with 16 again, but the quality of the teams are unreal this year. There's like 2 or 3 travelling rugby teams that are coming in who go around playing in these competitions. Yeah, they've got mass followings on social media.
So they're coming for the two-timers.
Coming for the Sharks, yeah, mate. But hey, we'll get Maloney, because Maloney was meant to play in our team last year.
Oh, Jimmy
Maloney, but he was obviously assistant coach at the Cowboys.
Yep.
Mate, what do they call them up there? Hurricane or Cyclone? Cyclone hit. All planes are grounded.
Yep.
So we didn't get a half, and we still got the chocolate. So, mate, he'll be there this year. I've got him working on a few boys to recruit into our team. But my good mate who started the Southern Sharks, Jimmy Grahan, his recruiting is unbelievable. So what he does, so only last year I was there. Me and Jai Hitchcock, who you would have played with.
Hitchy's a legend.
Yeah, so we're the only 2 guys with NRL experience.
Oh, in your side.
And the rest were the best from the Wollongong comp and Group 6. So
that Wollongong comp's pretty good.
Tough. And we lost to Curtis Scott's team Thelmy in the major semi last year. And Jimmy's off talking to 2 of these boys after the game. I'm like, mate, why are you sucking up to them? We just lost to him. He's like, oh, no, I was recruiting him for our 9s team.
Oh, you're
kidding. So he's a man on the job, yeah.
So you played last year?
Yep.
Who for?
Southern Sharks.
No, like, so the Thelmill.
Oh, Mittagong, sorry. Yeah, I played down in Group 6. Look, to be fair, I only come in for the back end of the year.
But isn't Thelmill... Aren't they in the Wollongong comp?
No, they're in Thurul is in the Wollongong.
Thurul, sorry,
so Thelmy is where Curtis Scott. So this week actually, they play against Mittagong in the first semi.
Yep.
Corey Norman.
Norms is still playing.
Curtis Scott will be playing, and
isn't Tim Simona out
there? Simona and Ken Sia are in the Thelmy team, and then Bryson Goodwin's in the other team.
Oh,
Mittagong,
big Bry.
So shout out, let's go Mittagong.
Oh, mate, yeah, because I actually spoke to Brian. He goes, mate, I got Latsy, and you had that other bloke from YKTR as well. You got into a couple of fights, like a couple of pro fights. What's his name? He was good mates with Normie and all that.
Oh, no, Simi never come down. That was at West the year, but that was a couple of years before.
Oh, okay,
yeah. I was trying to get it, but he's too unreliable, Simi.
Too unreliable?
Yeah. We need reliability, mate.
He's a good bloke to have around, but...
Mate, great bloke. And fair rugby league player, but just...
Does he go all right, does he?
He actually dominated in the game.
Oh, wow.
In the West comp, but he's inconsistent.
Oh, that's not good enough. Well, mate, what I'd love to know is you're from Port Macquarie, so you're a Port Macquarie Shark.
Yep.
Your journey, how did you get to, was it the Sharks was your first team?
Correct, yeah.
In the lower grades?
Yeah.
How were you spotted and how did you get down there?
Mate, this is no joke, right? So one of my best mates from Port Macquarie, Andrew Fox, he had a contract with Cronulla Sharks. So I actually had a year off footy. I love telling this story. When I was 15 to go bodyboarding.
Bodyboarding?
Bodyboarding. There was a bloke had his leg ripped off about 4 weeks ago at my local beach.
It
was like a 5 metre great white.
And they tried to attach it back, didn't they?
Yeah. I don't know if they succeeded or not, but that was my local wave. That was the North Shore. I used to paddle across between the breakwalls on my own. Now, can't pay me enough money in the world to do that. But anyway, the boogie boarding career was done after a year. I went back to playing rugby league, and of my under 16 team, 4 boys went on to play in the NRL.
Names?
Jacob Selms. Scotty Duro, you would know Scotty.
Yep, halfback.
And then Ryan Shortland played a few games early on for Melbourne Storm and the Warriors. So I probably wasn't even in the top 6 or 7 in my local team. And then I had a bit of a crack in the preseason that first year of under 18s, but that next off season I got after it and put on a fair bit of muscle. And my mate who was at Cronulla Sharks asked if I could come down to a coaching camp they did in the school holiday.
You're kidding?
And I got signed off that.
Who was the coaches that were down there?
I think Aaron Raper was my under-20s coach when I eventually moved down. A guy called Craig Wilson.
Yep.
Pod.
Yeah, I know Pod. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he was there, and he saw something in me. I don't know what it was, but mate, thankfully for my great mate.
And what position were you at this stage?
Mate, I was always a prop.
Always a prop?
Or middle. I think I might have played one game at centre in the school team.
Oh, Jesus.
But they were short on numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was always a middle forward.
Yep.
Hence why I was always,
And-
as lightning as I was,
Oh, mate, you know what? Sometimes it's not about the skills. It's about the bloke.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you need these type of blokes in the team.
Tradesman, mate. I'm a tradesman.
Just
I
get
got
the
my
job
job
done.
done. Correct.
Mate, we might not smash people. We
Yep.
might not break tackles.
Yeah.
We just get it done.
Yeah. And, mate, I'd lead the way when it come to off the field.
That's exactly right. Culture man.
Correct.
Speed was, how did you end up from the Sharks to the Eels?
Yeah. So that was that was another bit of potluck. So
Really? Because you had 3 years in between, didn't you? So
yeah, I went to 1 year. I had a great year. I did a Stephen Bradbury my first year at Cronulla. So I come back after one shoulder echo.
Yep.
Popped my shoulder first game, sublax, come back, rehabbed it, started playing, got off the bench, starting a few games. Australian Junior Kangaroos.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, I think about 5 front rowers fell over. I've come in and made the Junior Kangaroos team.
No way.
Yeah. So I got to represent them. I think of that team, there was 16 people of the 17 went on to play NRL.
Jesus.
So it was like Todd Carney, Mullo, Leon Bott, who were already in the NRL by that point. So that was Bo Champion was my roomie.
Yep.
So that was a massive buzz for me. Come back and I did the preseason with NRL.
Mm-hmm.
Had a
That's
really
at Cronulla?
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. Had a really good preseason. Then I sort of jumped between reserve grade and under 20s. Then I dislocated my shoulder. Had to get a shoulder echo. I think Cronulla offered me like maybe $3,000 just to play reserve grade. But by an off chance, Rod Reddy had gone to watch Jacob Selms, my Port Macquarie old teammate, and wasn't that impressed with me and was impressed with him, but took a liking to me.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting a 2-year contract there, and that's where me and James Maloney moved in together, and our budding relationship began.
What have you got for us on Jimmy? Come on,
mate. He was a pig to live with.
Yeah.
Disgraceful. Yeah.
Was it just you and him, or was he?
Yeah, me and him. So we were together 2 years, and he went to Melbourne in 2009, and I moved in with John O'Wright.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he was a pain. Like, I'm very meticulous in how I live my life.
So you're very anal. Like, you like certain things done.
Clean.
I'm the same. Like, I can't be dirty.
He didn't see his floor in about 2 years. They lost it, Tony Zapier lost it at him and just said, mate, you need to clean your house. And the things he found on the floor were horrific.
You're kidding.
Not for the years.
What about, can I say, like, for as much as I love Jimmy, I've toured with him, played at Origins and that with him. It's his voice. It just wears me. Like, it just does your head in. Like, you've had a big night. You know, Jimmy's been on fire all night, like hilarious. But I just need give me 2 hours without you just
always
saying a word.
chirping.
Just always.
And we've obviously started our podcast together now.
Yes, yeah.
Rugby League Journeyman for anyone who's listening.
Yeah, give it a bit of a
yeah.
we'll
And
pump it
Fitness
up.
Mate, sorry, I forgot to pump that up more before, but go find us on our socials or our website. But mate, he's built for what you're doing, mate. Like in the radio, not that the voice is soothing, or the head. You don't want to look at his head, but he's so smart, mate. Funny. Obviously, you spoke about a few of the stories he's been telling on there. He's very rogue. He's a lovable guy. I've never been out with a bloke who is more loved out of anyone I've played with in the NRL.
Champion.
He's a people's champ. Yeah.
I did like his What Would You Rather, the first edition, but it did get bleeped out.
So many bleeped out. He's so inappropriate.
Can I ask you something? Like, I'm not one to sort of bag about haircuts because I've had some shockers in my time.
Yeah.
What's Dylan with his at the moment?
Well, it's gone now though. So he's chopped it.
Oh, he has chopped it.
He's had a haircut. Yeah. No. So do you want to know the story?
Well, he had
behind
the
it?
long hair and then he had the bob or something like.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I didn't mind the bob. I much preferred the bob. So do you know why he grew his hair out? I haven't really spoken about it on the podcast.
No,
I have to
why?
get the story out. So he had a mass thing start growing on his head, like a cyst, but it looked like a ball bag.
You're kidding.
Yeah, and he didn't like. I think with the French healthcare, it was hard to get it sorted over there.
Oh,
so he
really?
never had it done and got it chopped off when he come back. And I'm like, well, mate, you've had it chopped off now. Can you chop your hair off? Because I couldn't stand that hair. Like,
He just looked different, didn't he?
rotten, and the skincare on him is 1 out of 10.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
I don't
got
think
that rank skin. He's got that like weathered head.
mate, shocking. He to be fair, he put his head where you wouldn't put your foot. His
Mate,
whole rugby
one of the
league career.
toughest humans,
Yeah.
mate. But yeah. So he had
Had a ball bag on his head. Yeah. Yeah, he showed me like it was a fair ball bag. It was huge.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't obviously nothing.
No, it was all good. It was all good. Literally cut off, boom, done.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
And never had it when you lived with each other.
No. Maybe it was tiny God,
Yep.
I got a thing here, mate. Actually, like a lipoma.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
So I got to get that out.
Yep.
But like, mate, I was looking this morning when I was skipping, and mate, it was
Like-
popping around everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. So like Jimmy, it just because I had a little thing there when I was playing footy, and it's just got mass
Yep.
now.
And
Because
then
I used to think it was what's them things you can get? Hernia.
hernia. Yeah.
That's a lipoma.
One of our mates, Gussie Wallen's got one upstairs.
Does
from,
he?
Chippenham,
Is that one
yeah.
just one big one?
He
Or?
thought he was giving birth to a kid. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
No, talk to us about Jimmy. What was he like eating? Because I've seen on tours, he just eats shit.
Absolute rubbish, but like, because I consume really quickly.
But
So-
I was going to say, like, so for blokes like us, we need to, in the preseason, we're getting fat tested, we're getting everything.
Yeah.
We got to watch what we eat.
Yeah.
He does not give a rat's ass. He's got a dog's body.
Yeah.
What he could do with that body is quite remarkable.
Yeah.
Was there moments in the house where you're like, mate, come on, Jimmy.
Yeah. Mate,
Just help me.
Yeah, no, he like it would take him, I reckon, 50 minutes to eat a bowl of spag bowl,
You're kidding.
and it wasn't even because he was talking heaps, but he's so slow. Whereas I'm in and done in
Yeah.
about 5 minutes.
That's it. What
Yeah.
are we wasting time at dinner?
There's actually a funny story. I haven't told it on the potty yet. He'll bring it up in the next few weeks, so I'll give you an insight here. But my old man loves fishing, like Port Macquarie. So
Yep.
that wall I spoke about where old mate got nicked by the shark, he goes over there every day catching like blackfish, jewfish, tailor, whatever. And he'd fill them up and send them down with me in Sydney.
Okay.
And I went down to my girlfriend's house in the Shire.
Yep.
As I've come back to Parramatta, I've opened like the door downstairs, and
Mhm.
all I could do was smell fish.
Mm.
I'm like, this bastard has ate me fish. I walk in the house, and like it was nearly like spew. It was that bad.
Yeah.
So what he's done, because there's like 4 bags frozen in the freezer. He invited all the boys over for feed. No ask. I was ropeable. I was like, hasn't asked me, hasn't cleaned it up. So there's shit everywhere in my house, literally everywhere. And mate, I don't know. Do you ever come across James Storer?
I've heard that name. He's a
Yeah,
hooker.
he was a
Fijian
mad
fella.
hooker. Yeah.
He's
Best
down
bloke
the
in the
Gong,
world.
isn't he?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
the Gong. Yeah, he
Yeah.
played a few NRL games at the Rabbitohs
he
and
was
maybe
good.
at Parry. Won
He
a
played a
comp
lot
at
for
Parry.
Fiji a lot.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And he cries when he retells the story because I lost it. And Jimmy's just like, bruh, it's all good, bruh. Don't worry. I'm like, mate, you didn't ask me. You didn't clean up. And to defrost him, he put him in front of the heater, which has just soaked everything into the carpet and the wall. And
He defrosted in front of the heater.
yeah, so that's how he defrosted. He didn't think he'd put him in the microwave. That'd probably be too simple. So, yeah. So, mate, yeah, look, so his diet included fish.
Oh my god! And not his fish.
No,
Your fish.
not my fish, without permission.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but that'll come out in the potty at one point.
Oh, I can't wait.
His version of events will be no doubt.
Oh,
heaps
completely
funnier.
different.
Yeah,
completely different. And to speak at Eels, was there like what year was that? That was 10.
07, 08, 09. So 07 and 08.
So at that period, you had some good personalities in that team.
Yes, we did. And in 07, 08, we won the I was in Regis predominantly. Well, I was them 2 years. We won the reserve grade grand finals. So
Yep.
that was like a lot of fun.
So you were flying. Hainsey was in 09.
09, yeah. So that was my first year in grade, and they didn't hit the straps to like round 14 or 15.
Nah.
Then he just went into this form that
Was it mad to watch?
Oh, so good. I played 6 games at the start of the season.
Yep.
When hot and cold. Come back in and played against the Warriors, and we beat them by like 60. But Jared Hayne that night was phenomenal.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What was Hindy like?
Yeah, I like Honey. I actually, he dry old thing.
Yeah.
And I think he had a bit of grudge against me in that 09 year because
Oh, really?
we had a drink up at his house.
Yeah.
And we don't know because me and Mortsy were the two new fellas in the first grade team, and one of us,
Who's Mortsy?
Daniel Mortimer.
Oh, Mortimer, yeah, but yeah.
And we ended up I think we broke his kids' toys and
Uh-oh.
spewed. But we don't know if it was me or Mortsy, so we sort of both got tarnished with it. So
Oh,
I think
really?
it come up a couple of times when I've been on Fox shows with him. He's never
Ah.
forgotten it.
Well, he's a man that holds a grudge.
Yes, correct.
I heard he's packing all right, but
Heat,
yeah.
Miami.
Yeah.
Really? I can't
Really?
remember.
Come on, mate. It's the first thing you look at.
Yeah, well, mate, I love get nude.
Yeah, exactly right. So your time ends at the Eels.
Yep.
Of all clubs to end at the Warriors.
Yep.
Was that a big cultural shock for you when you went over there?
Massive.
Yeah.
And that's James Graham loves this. Like he just goes, I cannot imagine you with that cross
I was gonna say, like,
section of cultures over there. But we had a great Aussie contingent.
Yeah. So who was the Aussie contingent?
Maloney? He come over with me.
So did you sign together to go over?
No, he went first, and
Yeah.
then Para were offering me a deal, and then the coach at the time, Daniel Anderson, I think started playing some games with me, and
Yep.
thankfully, yeah,
As coaches
yeah,
do.
and that game I mentioned, I played really well against the Warriors.
Yep.
So Ivan liked me after that game.
Oh, beautiful.
So I got the start there. Michael Luck, Brett Seymour, actually Seymour come over with me. Joel Moon was already there. Michael Luck.
Oh, it's not a loose group at all.
Not at all, yeah. It was, but like, I don't know, everyone just meshed together so well. And Craig Walker, did you ever have him in New South Wales? Walksy? He was a Roosters. He might have been involved with New South Wales at one point.
No,
he was like our performance guy, but he had a great way of bringing the group together. So when we'd lose football games, we'd meet at a thing called the RSA, which is like the RSL over there.
Yep.
On a Monday, and we'd get on the syrup.
Okay, yep.
Without fail, we'd win every weekend game after that. So, mate, yeah, if you're allowed to punt on your games back then, it was moral, like, get on us that week after.
So good.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I tell you who loves a sip is Ivan, doesn't he?
He does, mate.
Mate.
Yeah, him and his wife back, they do
Oh,
love it, enjoy
champions,
having a
aren't
beer.
they?
Yeah, they're great fun.
Mate, you can see why Penrith have gone so well under him.
Yeah.
And so were you coached by Ivan the whole time in the Warriors?
Yep, so I had him for 2 years, and then they let me go.
Yep.
So I got a 1 year deal at the Dragons then.
Okay. So speaking back of the Warriors, like, what was the hardest part over there? Because I've spoken to people and, like, in Sydney we'll go get coffees and that outside of footy. They reckon New Zealand, they just don't do that because the boys...
We did.
Oh,
Mate,
really?
That's when I got onto coffee. Yeah, Brett Seymour and the boys, they love coffee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I didn't start drinking coffee till then.
So where did you live right in the heart of Auckland?
So me and my partner, we lived right next to the city, Ponsonby.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's right on the water there, yeah.
Yeah. So we paid really high rent, but she had a good job in the city.
Yep.
So she could nearly walk down the hill when weather permitted. That was probably my only issue over there was the weather.
Yeah, shocking, eh?
Mate, it was bipolar. One day it'd be one morning it'd be pissing down rain, then the sun would be in the arvo, or vice versa. It was just all over the shop. But mate, I loved it. I love the culture there. I saw a lot of New Zealand. People were really good. That rugby league they don't care about over there. So we had a lot of fun. And you're traveling every second week.
Well, I was going to say, what's it like traveling every second week?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Most
always loved an away game, man.
How good are away games?
The best.
Mate,
Jeans are always packed first for me.
For me at the moment, the first thing, like not at the moment, but my career is the Townsville game.
Yeah.
How good's the Mad Cow?
Mate, you cannot beat it.
Mate, there's like one place where you get treated like gods. I think it's Red Dog that runs the cow.
Yeah.
You don't pay for a beer all night.
Well, mate, Jimmy Maloney, right? So he's an assistant coach up there.
Oh,
yeah. And me and one of my good mates I mentioned, who's the big dog at the Southern Sharks.
Yep.
Because we're becoming an enterprise.
Yeah, mate. Could be the 19th, 20th team in the competition.
Maybe.
You never know.
But we do our family holidays together.
Yep.
And we went up to see Maloney for like 5 days, and then we'll go into Airlie Beach. We had a house there. Land on the first day, we're going to watch Manly play Cowboys.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. And went along to the footy, whatever. And he's like, yeah, we've got babysitters. We're going out tonight. Bah, they love me at the Mad Cow. Free drinks all night. I'm the man up there. I'm like, brother, I'm on a family holiday. Anyway, Big Jimmy gone out and had a massive charge that night. And he just said he loved that. I think he went to the boys went on the Wednesday to the Mad Cow again. Yeah, they doubled up.
You're kidding.
There's no one there on the Wednesday night, though, apparently.
No, it's only really Saturday nights it goes good.
Correct. And Cowboys game, it pumps, as you would know from our away trips.
Yes, it's like I said to you, it's the one on the schedule that you got to tick off and make sure that if you've got a niggle, you got to play through busted.
Yeah,
because it's the one game you want to play. And
you need to win. So depending on your coach. I remember actually quite funny when I was my coach at the Warriors, that was the bet. That was the thing. We had to win. And it was 6-0 halftime, us and the Cowboys, 2011. So Sean Johnson was a halfback. And we ended up losing 46-6, and we weren't allowed to go out. It was like a morgue,
mate.
It was deathly quiet after the game.
I got one for you. We got beat 58-6 by the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Did you stay at the McCure or the Holiday Inn?
That one was Holiday Inn back then.
So we're at the McCure,
yeah,
and there's this back fence, and I just said to the boys, look, it wasn't our night tonight, but like you said about the Warriors, if you have a bad performance, you get on the sip.
Mm-hmm.
We went out. We had a good night.
Yeah.
The next morning, Mick Potter's like, oh, it's like a crisis meeting. We're all talking. We're all hungover as you know what.
Yeah.
And then he's like, did anyone have a beer last night? And everyone's sort of looking at me. I was captain at the time. I said, boys, don't say nothing. The next week, I was like, we need to back it up. Play against the Roosters. We get beat by 50. Like, it didn't work.
Have you ever heard the story with me in Townsville when I carried on a fair bit and me and Yui didn't have a nap?
No, I didn't know. You have to fill us in. Come on.
Well, we went through. We went through, and I completely lost track of my time. And we had to get the plane at 11:30. Back. So we had to
Who's
go to
your
the
coach? Hook?
Mary McGregor.
Oh, Mary.
And me and Mary, mad. I love Mary McGregor.
Yep.
Great man. Always told me straight how he felt about me and my performance, which I loved.
That's what you respect.
Mate, love it. And he's straight up and down.
Yep.
But anyway, so me and you in that have carried on because we beat North Queensland in North Queensland.
Mm-hmm.
Mate, the following week we played the Roosters and got absolutely rinsed. So that's why you don't drink in season, kids.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. Well, then, obviously, speaking of Mary, you've come to the Dragons, and I was going to ask you, what was Mary like? Because you hear a lot of the players, they loved him.
Yeah.
Obviously, sometimes you didn't get the results you wanted.
Yeah.
But he's always started off well.
Yeah. So sorry, it was Steve Price in 2012.
Oh, Steve Price got you there.
Price.
Okay,
He
yep.
just come in after Wayne Bennett.
Yep.
And then because then I went out to Penrith.
How
for
was
4
that?
years.
How was the Pricey one? Because that was hard backing up after Wayne.
It was, and obviously he was finding his way as a leader. Because mate, I've heard. Well, before that, I'd heard how good he was as an assistant coach.
Mate, the blokes at Sharks rave about him.
And then I had him at Sharks as an assistant, and
Yep.
he was awesome. But as a head coach, I don't know. Like, I think he was just finding his way. First year after Wayne,
Yep.
because he went over and had a fair bit of success with Warrington, maybe.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah. But no, Price was good. I still get along well now when I see Price. We have a good yarn on that. But I just think he was finding his way. It was hard. A lot of older players in that team. They won the comp 2 years previous. So it was probably a hard time for Price to take over.
So you had the likes of sort of Bo Scott.
Bowie, Dean Young, Coops, Benny Hornby, Michael Wayman.
How was that? That would have been some good fun.
Mate, it was good. It was good. It was nearly a bit overwhelming for me. You know, a lot of boys that I looked up to as a football team, and then they won the comp 2 years previous. But no, it was good. I really enjoyed my
Did
time
you
there.
live down in Gong at the time?
Never. No,
So-
I've always. The only time I've moved from the Shire was when I played at Penrith. I lived in Concord for 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a great spot, Concord, isn't it?
Beautiful. I was there today.
It's expensive, but
Very expensive. I was renting on a corner house that got levelled after we moved out because it was very cheap rent. It
Oh,
was not very
you're
nice.
kidding.
Yeah, Wellbank Street.
no way.
Yeah.
So when you went to the Dragons, how long? You were only there for a year.
Yeah, in and out.
Why so short?
Mate, Pricey was telling me the whole time they were going to make me an offer, and it sort of wasn't coming. And then Ivan, I think we had a chat after we played them out there one night on a Monday night in Penrith, and we just reconnected.
How
and,
good's Ivan?
mate? I loved him, and I don't know, he just got the best out of me. He's a different personality, very different, but I don't know, for some reason I just responded on a personal level to him. He got the best out of me off the field as well.
Like, you know, you said Mary's honest. I believe. I reckon Ivan's honest.
Yeah, no, he was always good with me. He's just a very reserved character.
He is, isn't he?
Very cool, calm, and collected.
It's like you're just talking to someone that's so relaxed.
Yeah,
And
but we'd often have awkward silences though, like and I'm a bit extreme, and then I get a bit rattled sometimes around the coaches. Even I saw him out there. My young bloke was ball boy in the Dragons Penrith game this year. We're having a mad yarn, whatever, and then I sort of got awkward again. I was like, "Why am I so awkward around?" But I love him. I really love
champion.
him. Yeah.
So would you have had a young Nate, ball
Mate,
boy? You?
He was always around the sheds and that though.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was 2010, 11.
I was going to say
so-
the Warriors. Yeah.
Yeah, but he come in when I was at Penrith, and
Yep.
he was around. Yeah, it would have been SG Ball, maybe
Mhm.
even Harold Matts, 2013,
Wow. Yep.
and then we played together in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, my last year there, his first year in NRL.
Jesus. So you went to the Panthers. How long was Ivan there for you as a coach? When
So 13, 14, remember we beat Roosters first week of the finals, and then we lost week 3 to the Bulldogs. but-
Sowie kicks a mad field goal, and then
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy Graham just went after our halves and a few boys that night,
Yep.
and they got our measure. But 2015, we ended up missing the 8, and Ivan got sacked.
oh wow,
Yeah,
it's a ruthless industry, isn't it?
mate, it is. Rugby league, yeah, you know yourself, man. Like, it builds resilience,
Oh.
you know, the adversity you face, the feedback you cop, the criticism you cop, you know, externally.
Yep.
You know, mate, it makes an office job look like a piece of cake.
Oh mate, you think it's easier just to dig holes and
Yeah.
go to the office?
Yeah.
Income-
There's no HR department in rugby league.
That's.
Otherwise, it would be full.
I reckon that's where we, as rugby league players, probably would struggle.
Yes, correct.
Is the
Mate,
HR department.
you cannot. Well, obviously, there's a lot of ego around rugby league players, but
And what goes on in the dressing sheds?
yeah, mate, 100%. It is not, and it's not a. Yeah. And
Oh,
since
mate.
transitioning away from rugby league, I tell you what, yeah, it's a totally different world.
In comes our man Hook, Anthony Griffin. You ever had much to do with him before this?
No, never had anything to do with him.
No. Any of the boys in the team had much to do with Griffin?
No, back then, man, it was a really young team.
Yeah, because
really
you had
young.
like.
I think I was a senior. I was a senior player.
really?
Yeah, me and Sauce. And Pete Wallace.
Josh.
Oh, Wally had him. Wally had him at Broncos.
What was he? Any? Did you know when the players talk before someone comes
Yeah.
and before it starts? What was his?
Oh, brother, I'm flat out remembering last week. You asked me to throw it back to 2016 here, Woodsy. Come on, man.
How was your preseason under Hook?
Oh, horrific.
It goes back 20 years, doesn't it?
Brother, we turn up day one, and it was 2.5K runs around this park, Gemmo Park, and then 2 1.25s. Wellington Albert, this Papua New Guinean bloke, I think his kidneys went into shock and he had to go to hospital. Mez come back after the Australian team. Same thing happened. He's went into shock and he had to go to hospital.
You're kidding.
Mate, it was crook. But I was a big thoroughbred, so I love that long distance
I was
running.
sweet too.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Tony Guilfoyle, was he the trainer?
No, he wasn't then. It was, mate, what was I going to say? What's the time? Time of your life. Ronnie Palmer.
Yeah, Ronnie Palmer. He was good. So how hard was it under the Hook, man?
Mate,
Like,
honestly, horrific.
We used to get a text message of Dragons, boys, just bring your runners tomorrow. And when you just knew that text message, it'd be like, far out, we're doing some
prehistoric exercise science philosophies
and
there.
like, so when I was at Sharks, I've come from Andrew Gray.
Oh, mate.
Who's got
As we spoke about earlier with Gallon, that, mate, like, that, it's just, he raps in cop more. Even my first week at Cronulla, that was after Hook.
Yeah.
So I've gone the other way to you, mate. So I've turned up week one and I did a good 20, 40, 60
1.2.
time.
Yep.
1.2.
Yep.
And then, because they won the comp the year before, so it was only like the young boys and new players.
Yep.
And, mate, I was smoking it. Like, I always
Good
tried to come
run.
in decent condition, and
Yep.
I liked running. Mate, we're doing a field session, and Andrew Gray, Latcher, you're off. I'm like, what have I done? I go, what do you mean? He goes, you've done enough Ks. I go, what? He goes, you've done enough Ks. I go, what's that mean? He goes, you're good. I'm like, what?
Mate,
I felt like I was cheating.
Mate, I was similar to that my first session
Yeah.
at the Sharks. So they did 2 con blocks. He goes, you're just doing the first one. I go, sorry.
Whereas the other one, hey, I'm dying. Get up.
No water for you. I'll tell you a funny one. We're doing a 1.2 tour, and then like if you got your time, you were in the mouth, mate. Yeah, you wouldn't have to do the 1.2 tour, but you'd have to do sorry, one sec. You'd have to do a what's it called? Like the long runs, the 2Ks and that, while the boys do 1.2 tours.
Yep.
And then because we'd been back pre-season already, and so Moses Sully signed from Manly, who made the prelim. They were 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
So we were all pretty decent, had a good base. Suls comes in, hasn't trained a day, just moved into his place 2 days earlier in Wollongong from the Fairfield.
Yeah.
He's doing the shisha all the time with his boys.
Yeah.
Gets to the second lap on the 20-40-60, he starts walking. And Hook's like, fuck me, mate. What the fuck have I just fucking signed? And he goes, hey, Sully, keep fucking running. And Sully's like, fuck off, mate.
Really? Yeah.
Sully don't give a fuck. He just kept walking it.
Man, I could only imagine, but like it was hard training, but
Mate.
not the smartest training.
It wasn't the smartest, but you know what? It was good for your headspace, don't you reckon?
Mate, 100%, mate. That's what I mean. Like rugby league, it makes you hard mentally.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of people can struggle when they retire.
Yep.
You lose a part of your denny or whatever. But mate, that strength you develop between the ears,
Oh, yeah.
you back yourself in nearly anything.
Yeah, and once you get through one of those pre-seasons, it's sort of like, yeah, look, I didn't do much skill work, but I know if I can run, I'll be half a chance of getting through this game.
Rugby league's a simple game, man. Run and tackle, especially us big boys in the middle.
Any sprays from Hook?
Yeah, mate, one of the greats.
Yep.
So we were playing against the Brisbane Broncos. Tamari Martin made his debut, and it was the year before they made the grand final. But Anthony Milford, fair player.
Good player.
So that was 2016. And
Yep.
Suwa Matungi was inside me.
Big front row, yep.
Yeah.
Off the back fence.
Love big tongues.
Yep.
And that's how he defended that day. So he shot out and taken Sam Thaiday out. And he's played out the back to Anthony Milford. And I've sprinted out to try and get Anthony Milford, but not very smartly. I've sort of gone to his outside shoulder instead of keeping him on.
Didn't stay
on my
square.
outside.
Yep.
Yep. Well, he stepped me. I'm in the chair. He comes back into that space where Tongues wasn't.
Oh, so he didn't
I was
help
like,
shut your gate.
in my head, I'm like, bro, nah, it's not like. Obviously, I could have done better, but if Tongues is there, he helps me make the tackle.
Yep.
So we go in 18-0 at halftime.
Winning?
No,
Oh,
Milford went and scored.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Anyway, Hook's on the other side of the dressing shed talking to the boys, and Garth Brennan comes over with the iPad. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Oh, you don't want to get the iPad or
Yeah.
laptop.
He
No.
goes, hey, Latsy, mate, probably got to try and stay squarey. I go, brother. I go, tongues doesn't level thigh day. I go, you can sort of cover me ass.
That's it.
Hooks turn around. He goes, hey, for fuck's sake, Lattimore, you're jumping at shadows out there. Just stay square. Brother, I look up and I see Josh Mansell and Pete Wallace get up, pink in the face, laughing, and walk into the other room.
Oh, mate.
And anyway, he goes from me, giving me one of the best sprays I've ever got, into Bryce Cartwright. And he goes, and you're fucking jumping at shadows out there. Maybe I was jumping at shadows. He said to Bryce, he goes, and you're heading towards Mulgoa Road. Just stay square. Anyway, I was like, man, I was like, yeah, got you, sweet. I'm like pink in the face, the boys reckon. And we go back out in the second half. And I ended up actually scoring a try. And we come back and Tamari Martin kicked the field goal. We won 19-18.
Oh, stop it.
But then I got suspended and got dropped the following. Oh, no. So I got suspended. Then I come back in and that's sort of the beginning of the end of my Penrith career.
Mine was similar to that with Hook as well, mate.
Oh, really?
But not so much. I didn't miss a tackle. What it was someone else missed a tackle and I had to sort of jump on a player. And then there was two of us on the ruck. And one happened to be Josh Maguire, which was one of his former sons from the Brisbane Broncos.
Yeah.
And he got penalised and got 10 to bin.
Really?
Yeah, and he blamed me for it. He came in the sheds afterwards. Fuck me, Woodsy. You fucking giving away penalties and Josh Maguire's fucking the consequence of it. I said, fuck off, mate. I said, it was, you know what I mean? I said, Moose was laying on top of me. I couldn't move. And then from that moment, I think I paid Reggie's the next week. Yeah. And that was it with him.
Yeah. To be fair, Hook, and I mentioned this earlier, he gave me a good shot, but I just didn't respond to his coaching. But like,
I was the same.
Like off the field, he loves having a beer like me. So we always got along well. And like me, he encouraged the boys to go out for a beer after the game.
That was one thing about Hook, wasn't it? Like, if one goes out, all goes out.
Correct.
You know, and he didn't care. Like, he didn't stop us from having a beer. He goes, yeah, sweet, but just make sure wherever he's he's all together.
Yeah.
He was that old school, wasn't he?
Very, very old school. In the sheds after games, sit around and have a beer compulsory, which I love the old school. I'm very old school. Like
and
that,
love the banter too. Like, it was sort of the good thing about Hook was, I'll tell you, with those sprays, it was fucking sweet after the game.
Yeah.
Like, it was nothing. Like, it was like, yeah, sweet, what's going on, mate? All good. He wouldn't hold a grudge.
Yeah. Well, not bad. It's not like a relationship. That grudge is held against you the
Oh,
rest of the
mate,
day.
forever. But, one thing about Hook, I tell you, when we were training Captain's Run, he'd always want the barbecue done, and that's all he cared about was Captain's Run, was barbecue. Getting out, getting his sausage sanger and his can of Coke that was like a 300ml.
Really?
He loved it, mate.
Yeah, okay. I never picked up on that.
And if the barbecue wasn't ready or if we ran out of meat, that was probably like the worst moment.
Scotty Stewart was under Cherry
Scotty Stewart
down at
under the pump. Like, he'd get his own butcher from where are they from? What's the area?
Queensland, Rockhampton.
No. Where
out
Scotty
west.
Stewart lives. Where Scotty Stewart lives.
Gerringong.
Gerringong, yeah. He had a mad butcher at Gerringong. He'd bring the maddest rissoles and steaks, but if you ran out, you wouldn't want to be on the end of a Hook spray.
Mate, that's too good. Hey, mate, simple pleasures in life, man. Can of Coke, sausage.
It's it for the big Hook.
Great Australian dream.
So over there, you would have had some good people like Sowie. How was Sowie? How did Sowie get along with Hook?
I think he left mid-season.
Oh, well, that explains a lot.
He left mid-season.
And then Mez, because Mez, the boys tell me
Mez played mad under him.
Really?
Yeah, I think Mez got an extra 3 years on his already 3-year contract, and then he left about 2 years into it because then he went downhill.
Yeah, he
fell out. Yeah,
had to go to England and he come back to Dragons, had him again.
Correct. Did he end up with him at Dragons?
Yes, and they reckon that was why Mez retired. He got the laptop out at half time, give him an almighty spray.
Yeah, Mez did all right with a few things, so he didn't care about rugby league.
Was that we talking about the
Crypto.
coins?
Yeah, correct.
Yes, the Bitcoin. Did very well, didn't he?
Bloody oath.
So then after the Penrith, you ended back up at the Dragons.
No,
Sharks.
For a year, which I enjoyed that, mate. And that's me mate Maloney was there. It was a year after they won the
you
comp.
followed Maloney everywhere,
mate. I did. I followed him there. But yeah, look, that was a. We lost the first week of the finals to the Cowboys, and we played shit. They played shit, and they dragged a field goal, I think.
Right, that was when they sort of were limped in the 8,
and then they made the grand final.
Yes, they made the granny.
And I never forget Gowser. Boys, this is the only game I'm worried about. If we win this, we're in the grand final. He literally said that.
Really?
He said it all week. He's like, fuck, it's the only game I'm nervous about. And we played shit, and they went to the grand final. Yeah, because I think we had Parramatta on our side of the draw who were overachieving that year.
Yep.
And then maybe it was the Roosters who were sort of falling apart.
Yep.
And G-Train caught it, and then they went through.
He's It's pretty remarkable, G-Train, like what he used to put his body through.
Oh, mate. Even the boxing, because I've been boxing, mate. I'm fighting in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah. Who are you fighting?
Just a big Islander fella called Alex Ale, I think his name is. He's from out west.
Is it like a corporate night?
Pro.
Or really?
Yeah. And
So
mate,
what made you want to get into that?
Mate, I always want to do it when I played footy.
Yep.
It was something I spoke about, just to experience it. And, it's getting real now because it's 2 weeks out.
So where are you fighting at?
It's called Condell Park, the Grand Vaudeville.
Okay, yep.
Yep. So 4 3-minute rounds. But yeah, just a sparring. Like, I'm literally like the injuries and that you're picking up as you're getting closer to the fight.
So who are you training with?
Do you know Mark Gambin?
I've heard that name. He's
He's Kim's cut man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I do some work with Brian Doyle and Curtis up at Doyle's boxing
Oh,
club.
yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I sparred Curtis the other day, but he's just another level on me at the moment.
He's a freak, isn't he?
Really good, really sharp.
Yeah, and tough.
Yeah, just tough. Yeah, I hit him with a couple of bombs and he doesn't worry him. But
Really?
I wouldn't know how many more punches he hit me with that night. He's very fast. Yeah, he's good.
Oh, wow. So, and that's in 2 weeks' time.
2 weeks, yeah.
Okay, so we'll put that up on the old, if anyone wants to go out and watch the GOAT.
Yeah, mate.
What's going to be your ring name?
Don't know. The boys are talking like chanting the Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't. I don't know. Give me more of Lattimore. I don't know.
Give me something.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm making shirts because I've got some sponsors who are helping me out. But I literally was trying to think of a ring name. I don't have anything, mate. Help me, Woodsy.
Oh,
Big Jerry, it's not Ferry. I don't know.
Jerry's not going to be a fairy tonight.
No way.
Well, back to the Cronulla. So you've had Jimmy at 3 clubs. Have you noticed a different change in Jimmy since you got to Cronulla? Or was he the same old?
Still torture.
Torture?
I remember when Flano signed me, he goes, mate, your job is to keep Maloney under control. I go, that's impossible. I go, he is who he is. He goes, mate, you got to keep him in line.
You're joking.
Yeah. And, mate, I don't know, I told a story on the podcast about when we went across to the World Club Challenge.
Yep.
Flano's like, don't drink. Well, that's like bloody a red flag to a bull. Anyway, I walk on the plane, guess who I'm next to?
No.
Jimmy fucking Maloney.
In business class.
In business. Anyway, first leg to Qatar or wherever we went, or Abu Dhabi, he was fine. He was very well behaved. But he's got thirsty at Abu Dhabi and he drank all the way from there we went to London and, mate, he was charged up.
And the voice just gets croakier and louder.
Yeah, and Flano was off it. Anyway, I remember I woke up, I had a nap, come back, and I'm at a new club. I didn't know if I was playing the World Club, so I'm trying to impress. I'm not on the piss. And I go down the back and he goes, stop being a pussy, Latsy, have a beer. You're a cat. And he's just spraying me, into me. And then, mate, we go to walk off the plane. Shane Warne walks off.
You're kidding.
He comes from first class. Well, mate, Maloney's nearly pushed everyone out of the way. He goes, Warney, it's Maloney, Jimmy Maloney. Mate, Warney had no idea who fucking Maloney was. And he walks over and gets a selfie with him. Because I said on our podcast, I thought I took the photo, but no, he's gone and got a selfie.
Yeah.
Didn't ask me to get in the photo. I was off it. Because I was nearly like, I'm chirping out James Maloney.
Are you a big Warney fan too?
No, it just would have been cool to get a photo. And
mate.
all Jimmy's thinking about is Jimmy Maloney.
And what you're just like, get out of here, Jimmy. Like,
Yeah.
Come on, mates.
But he's got red wine, like, all like, because he's smacked the red wine on the back end of the fight. Anyway, we go and have beers that afternoon. And because the big fella starts to hit the wall because he's been going so long. And I found another leg and flew into him.
Oh, did
Wade,
you?
Wade Graham said he's never seen him lost for words.
Really?
Yeah, but I was chirping.
And
I get chirpy on the syrup too.
How long was that second leg flight?
Not sure. What would that be? 8 or 9 hours?
So he's ripped in for a
He's gone hard, man.
Yeah.
He went hard.
As if you wouldn't know that you'd have a crack as soon as you get over there.
Yeah. But no, that was always the plan. We're going to like an English pub. It was Sunday afternoon. Mate, he's ended up in the main town of London with Daniel Mortimer, maybe our assistant coach, Shep, and someone else. Mate, Maloney would have been last man standing still. Yeah.
Oh, still? So he still had a good crack?
Mate, he still kept going, but I don't know how he was standing up by the end of it. He's an enigma.
He's definitely... I just don't know how he does what he does with that body.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a little kid, isn't it?
He's a kid. He's a big kid.
I remember watching him one day. I was just getting strapped for Origin, and he was there with his shirt off. Like, his gut sort of sticks out.
Yeah.
Like, there's no shape around the pecs.
Yeah.
And then he goes out and has a man of the match performance. Mate, you're a freak.
Yeah. But he loved the big moment. And this, he just never overthought anything. And
well, I think that's the best part about him.
But this, so I spoke about our trip to Queensland, right?
Yep.
So he's had a big Saturday. We had a few beers on
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah.
And he'd had a fair stint. And then we had a few beers on the Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Then on Thursday, when we got to Early Beach,
Yep.
he stayed up late drinking like his missus and one of the boys. I went to bed because I love sleeping. I was getting up training.
Yep.
And then I think it was that next day. Yeah, we're going out on the boat. And I'm like, mate. And he was like one of the first up, like when I was up. I'm like, how do you do it? He goes, mate, it's like fatigue on the footy field. It's just in your head. You just push through it. Where like I'm just tired. Whereas I think his missus end up having 12-hour sleep. Like his mind is so strong.
Oh mate, he's mentally tough.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah.
So you've gone from Sharks now back to the Dragons.
Yes.
And this, did you know it was going to be your last season?
No, 2. I got 2 years out.
Yeah, but was this going to be your last contract?
No, I did 2 1-year deals, man.
Did you?
Yeah. I was just hanging on, and then even so, 2018 we had a really good year. And mate, that was my funnest. 18 was my funnest year, on and off the field. We had a group.
Was that when you had the bus?
We had the bus, so that was just constant laughs, great piss taking.
I remember following the bus page.
Did you? Yeah,
it was so good, man. I wasn't even involved in it.
Yeah, we just you know, man, when you're around the boys, because James Graham's moods are so.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. One of our very own here at Triple M, and Jimmy Graham. What's he like?
So moody.
Yeah.
So when he's up, and when he's down, he's down. And he I don't know. He reckoned I used to fake it, but I'd just always try and be up and bring the energy.
I'd rather someone that would fake it.
Correct. And he'd hit a flat spot in the arvo and needed coffee. And mate, I remember Honey did something to him one day, and I think Jimmy's lost it, spat at him, like going after him, and like everyone's just crying. There was another G up where he used to have these smelling salts.
Yep.
And I'm sitting in the back of the bus, fucking bored. Who can I annoy? And I see Jimmy's bag, so I grabbed the smelling salts out of the bag, and anyway, I start smelling them. Well, mate, he smelled it at the front. He's turned around. He goes, "What the fuck you doing?" He goes, "That's not fucking funny." He goes, "Fucking it runs out." And I'm like, "How's it run out?" I just thought it went forever. Yeah. He goes, "You're not fucking using it tomorrow," because we're playing the game the next day.
Yeah.
Mate, didn't talk to me for the rest of the car trip home. Didn't shake my hand when he got off the bus. And he goes, "You are not having my smelling salts tomorrow," in his English voice. I'm like, "Oh, you'll forget about it." We get to the game. We're playing Manly actually down at Wynn on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I saw him go into the toilet, so I quickly ran over to grab his smelling salts. "Don't you fucking touch it." But fully wouldn't let me touch his smelling salts.
Really?
Yeah, he was so angry about it. And then when we beat Manly that night and after the game, let's I'm like, "Mate, you can't act like my mate." I go, "You really affected my preparation." That is part of my getting ready for a game.
So he's got bipolar.
Mate, he's so up and down. Yeah.
What was he like at training, like the whole preseason?
Psycho.
What about after like a big day of preseason?
Oh, flat.
Yeah.
But on the field, mate, he's a maniac. But in the gym, I was second last in the gym in terms of having a crack, and he was last. He was horrific.
He was no good.
In the gym, yeah, he's horrible. But on the field, mate, absolute.
Well, he's doing. I think he's running for a marathon now.
Yeah, actually, I just did a thing with him and Charlie, and I go, "How you going, big boy?" And he was real flat when I caught up with him, because I always joke like you got to plug him into the wall to turn him on.
I love this.
Yeah. And he goes, "Oh man, I was meant to run 30K yesterday, but I only got to 25. I fucking hit the wall, man."
What a soft cock.
Yeah, and he's like, "I ran Monday, Tuesday." I'm like, "Get the violin out, buddy."
No one's making you run.
No, exactly. So I've actually got to take the piss out of him in our WhatsApp, because anytime I tell him anything, he runs straight to our WhatsApp with me, him and Frizz, and our other mate, Greggy.
Yeah, yep.
And just takes the piss out of me. Adds, because I got a list, "Oh, yeah, so I was doing this today," and just takes the piss out of me.
What about when James gets excited? You can't understand a word he says.
Oh, mate, 100%. And he gets really excited about anything.
I love it.
Anything. I go, "You're the only person that doesn't like your mates. Or you like negative shit happen to your mates."
Exactly.
Yeah.
He wants us down, like just negative.
Yeah, emu and I call it.
I got one for you for the WhatsApp, asking about his preparation for his podcast that we did live on Fox.
Okay.
I've never seen a bloke more nervous in my life.
Was he?
He wanted to do about 10 trial runs before we even did it.
Yeah. Mate, funny story. So you would have done a Tuesday night with him, and then the Wednesday I asked him, because we're doing our podcast, the buy around, and I asked him if he could come, because part of our arrangement is he comes on once a month or something.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I hadn't had him come on for a while, so I was like, "Bro, I need you to come on in a few weeks," and I forgot about it. But sorry, I'd take that back. I lie. I put it in my phone. And because you just spoke about how anal and how prepared he is, I never heard from him. So on like the Tuesday, I just deleted it out of my folder, out of my calendar, because I had Jammer coming on potty.
Yep.
Wednesday, I'm feeding the kids breakfast, and my phone starts ringing, Jimmy Graham, and it's like a 9:30 film, and I'm like, "Fuck, he hasn't forgot about it, but he hasn't messaged me."
Yeah.
Anyway, I let it ring out, and then he rang again. I let it ring out, and then I dropped the kids to school, and then I started heading in the city, and I rang him back. He goes, "Man, what the fuck?" He goes, "Am I coming on your podcast today or not?" I go, "I didn't think you were." I go, "You're a busy guy, so I left you alone." He goes, "Matt, He goes, "You've really messed with my plans." He goes, "I got 2 big podcasts later on." He goes, "You've really thrown me out." And like, I'm like, "Oh wow, well, have a cry,
Relax, mate.
man." Anyway, I'm like, I can't remember what I said, but it made him chuckle because I'm like, pretty well just implied you're carrying on like a secondhand whippersnapper, and got in there.
I love when he goes on his tangents.
But he goes like, how I've got to be for your podcast is different to how I got it because he had like a brain guy or someone coming on who's a bit more intelligent than me and James Maloney sitting around having a yarn. So he's got, "Man, I've got to flick from that head to that head." I'm like, "Mate, honestly, if that's your biggest problem today." And I think that was then the podcast where Maloney and him started going at each other because he's like, "Man, yeah, I really lost after rugby league because I got to work out what I got to wear to the airport." Oh, well, isn't that a problem? What to wear to the airport?
Is that what Jimmy was saying to him?
No, yeah, that's what Jimmy gave him because Maloney doesn't even have a calendar. Like even podcast this week, right? He knows we're on a Wednesday in the morning.
Yeah.
Tuesday night, he goes, "Man, I can't get the studio in the morning." I'm like, "Why didn't you ask this a week ago? Like, we got to, it's about preparing, mate." And he goes, "Yeah, this is probably the downside of not using my calendar." I'm like, "Well, anyway," so he had to just jump on Zoom at home using his kids' headphones that would light on and off. He's such a child.
Oh, he's the best, mate. And then, another bloke I'd like to know, because I heard I didn't get to play with him at Dragons, but I heard a lot of, he was an up and down character as well. Matt Duffy.
Oh, mate. He tried to fight me in Jammer one preseason.
Why?
Because we just get into him. Because he was, when he was up, mate, he was all time.
Yeah, the boys reckon he was unreal.
Mate, so good. And you get around him, like, literally, rugby league, right? You get around him when he's going after, like, he'd come at me, he'd go at Jimmy Graham. But when he's down, man, honestly, first bloke to ever have a bad day. So me and Jammer would jump on and got into him. He's like, "You two come out the front, I'll fucking bash you." I'm like, "Come on."
You're kidding.
Well, so me and Jammer just kept laughing. Yeah. And that was making him worse. And he's like, "Come on, come out." And we just like kept laughing. And we're like, "Come on, Duff, like, let's be reasonable here, mate." And yeah, but no. He was great value when he was on. Yeah. Far out, he was great fun.
They reckon, like, if you play basketball at the front there, you'd have to let him win.
Mate, he was ultra competitive with basketball and thought he was Russell Westbrook because that was his team and who his favourite player was.
There was a moment I remember watching a game of you guys, and then there was rumours that you picked up a bloke on the road, or you got picked up because there was a lot of traffic on the way to a Dragons game. Yeah, so what happened with that?
So we were playing on a Friday night against the Cowboys, and there was a really bad car crash, and I think a few people had passed away, so they closed. Jesus. They closed the road, but anyway, there was a massive log jam, and the chat was in the WhatsApp, "Turn off at Taraji."
Yeah.
And I got distracted. I don't know. I was on my phone. I was doing something, and I missed the turn off.
Oh, okay.
Boom. Stopped.
Wow.
Not moving. It's like, fuck. It was like, so I'm anal. Not James Graham anal, but I had a way of preparing for a football game. We're playing at 6 o'clock. It was now 4:30, and I like to get there at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Mate, I'm a good half an hour off getting to the game." And I'm like, "What am I going to do?" So I'm getting rattled. No warm-ups at 5:30. Yep. I jump out of the car. And after 20 minutes, I didn't move. So I was getting closer to 5 now, sorry. So it's 4:30, and I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. Jump out, park my car on the slow road, jump the highway, hitchhike back towards Sydney. This guy, first bloke, Brett, his name was. I was actually talking. I think I talked to him on the phone. Someone was his friend. I spoke to him on the drink not long ago. Yeah, and he picked me up, and I'm like, "Mate, turn right at Taraji," and sort of followed it, and then Fairy Meadow, you know where the big touch fields are.
Yep.
Get to there, not moving.
Oh no.
I'm like, "Man, what am I gonna do?" I'm like, "You know what? If I see someone on a motorbike, I'm gonna hit him up." And I saw a guy pull up next to me on a motorbike. I jumped out of the car. He's like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "Brother, can you give me a lift?" He's like, "Oh, man." I'm like, "Mate, I need to get the game." And he's like, "Oh, I'm waiting for my mate." I'm like, "Come on, bro." Anyway, he's like, "All right." And he goes, "Latimer?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll give you a signed jersey if you get me to the game." So I ended up jumping on the back of him, big Donkey Kong on the back, holding on for dear life. And anyway, I jump on. He's reeking of grog.
Oh.
So he's been on the syrup. Yeah. We go down along the water there. You know how you go along the water. He's going. I don't have a helmet on. He's going over the speed humps, mate. We're nearly getting air, and mate, obviously the cop was up ahead, so he just threw me off. Walked in. I got into the sheds at about 5:20, and Normie's like laughing, going, "Bruh, how rattled?" Because he knew how I like to prepare for a football game, and he's like, "How rattled, bruh? How rattled?"
Oh my god!
Anyway, we ended up winning. And because I had so much adrenaline, like I didn't feel one element of fatigue out there. It was wild.
So you just felt mad. What a story!
Yeah, it was actually it was hectic.
Oh well, mate, Latsy, I can't ask any more questions after that, mate. That's outstanding, mate. I can't thank you enough for coming on, brother.
Oh, good, mate.
Your podcast, do you want to give a big pump here?
Yeah. Hey, if you want to find us on, we're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, the Rugby League Gentleman, to myself, Toby Rudolph as well. We
One of
haven't
the
failed to
greats.
mention him, and Professor James Rochford.
Yes.
And the great Jimmy Maloney, who, mate, honestly, I've been his mate for a long time, but even I sit there sometimes impressed with
Yarns for days.
Yarns for days, just really witty.
Yep.
But yeah, no, so we're doing that. I've got the Fitness Mates
Yeah.
of Louis.
Yeah. What's the app?
Called Fitness Mates.
Yep.
We will be live on the App Store within probably the week.
Oh, beautiful.
So get downloading, support the boys.
Yep.
And then I have another business of Louis called Unite, which,
Yeah, they're the ones that do.
Oh.
Are they the clothing brand?
mate, we do merchant apparel advisory. So we've got that. There's 4 prongs to the business now.
Yep.
And, mate, big surprise coming there. We'll announce that in the next few weeks as
Oh,
well.
get out. Check out the website. Have they got an app or
no,
Instagram?
Yeah, we've got Instagram.
Yep.
We've got a website.
Yep.
So if you're looking at anything financial, if you're a current player and you
Yep.
need any help with anything, reach out to me or Louis.
Oh, we'll get on people and get involved because the big fella's got some good plans coming up. And I know what Louis is like. Louis invests a lot of time and he wants success.
He does.
That's you, mate. I can't thank you enough for coming on, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
And all the best,
Woodsy.
brother.
Thanks,
mate.
brother.
Cheers.